I'm Sheilaa Hite, world-class astrologer, tarot master, spellcaster, and modern-day alchemist, as well as being an all-around magical being. So, I am here to talk to you about part 2 of January 2021. As we've already seen, part 1 was pretty intense and explosive. A lot is going on, as we all know, inside ourselves and outside of ourselves. I remember I was looking at my notes and remember that I said on January 5th, Mercury, the planet of communication, information, what is said, what is heard, what is thought, how it is all processed, is going to be together with Pluto, the planet of transformation, the planet of too late to turn back now, the planet of this is what's really happening. Pluto always insists on clear, clean honesty, and it insists on transformation. And Pluto is ultimately a great healer, but first it has to clean the wounds. In order to clean the wounds, you have to know what they are and where they are. Well, Mercury, information on what the wounds are and where the wounds are, and Pluto, what they are. So the wounds are they're very deep here in our world and definitely in the USA. They are very deep. And we saw on January 6th an eruption, like a boil, an eruption of all that is negative. We saw that, or let me put it this way, not only all that is negative, but the results of the negativity of an entire lifespan of this country. And I put it that way because Pluto today is in the sign of Capricorn. Pluto takes 248 years to go from one sign, I'm sorry, to go completely around the zodiac until it goes from sign to sign to sign until it comes back to its original sign. So 248 years before Pluto went into Capricorn, Pluto was in Capricorn and it was 1775, 76. Well, what happened in 1775, 76? We had the American Revolution, we had the Constitution, we had all manner of people getting together to create a new land. It's America, and its whole democratic process is often called the Great Experiment. Unfortunately, this great experiment had a lot of holes in it, a lot of holes. The way this country treated people, and treated people because of their color, because of their religion, the way this country treated people because of profit, and all of that came to a head, is coming to a head, has been coming to a head over the last few years. And what we got to see was the ugliness of that way of being, the ugliness of that belief system, the ugliness that was at the foundation of our foundation. And ugliness and poison do not lie dormant. They slowly make their way to the surface until they become this big, ugly, painful boil. And eventually that bursts. Well, we saw it's been leaking for the last 4 years, and we finally saw the absolute bursting of it on January 6th. An aspect doesn't just happen on the day. As I said, January 5th is when you had Mercury conjunct Pluto. It begins to build up 2 or 3 days before, and it takes 2 or 3 days to subside afterwards. So when it reached its boiling point and bursting point on the 6th, there it was. There's no denying who we are, where we are, and there's no denying what we have to do if we want to heal from this and if we want to become the great experiment that we were intended to become, the experiment of truth, of healing, of all inclusiveness, of freedom, the exclusiveness of being in the light and being in the light for ourselves and for each other. So now I'm going to talk about the next few. There will be a part 3 of this because this is an intense month and a lot is happening this month. I'm going to talk about the next few days. Tomorrow, well, actually tonight at 11:58 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a new moon in Capricorn. I hope you set your uh, cups and glasses and pitchers of water out, either in your windowsill or outside. Either way, please make sure that the container is covered because critters know how to get in. But this moon water is great because it will gather all of the energy of all of the new moon. The sun and the moon are together. The new moon brings us a new change, a new chance, rather, a new chance, new opportunity, brings us the opportunity to build something positive. So get the energy of that phenomenal Capricorn um, new moon energy. Now, this new moon, especially, there's great power in the new moon, but this new moon is way powerful because it is together with conjunct, that's astrologies for together with the planet Pluto, which I mentioned before with Mercury. Pluto, great transformation, great truth, great awareness, and great need to clean up the old wounds, to clean them up, clean them out, and to stitch them up. Not stitch them up haphazardly, but to stitch them up with the intention that we are going to close this wound and we are never going to open it again. So, this is a time of rebirth, and this is the actual real beginning of 2021 with this new moon. It is the real beginning. And this new moon conjunct Pluto is powerful, beyond powerful. What I would suggest you do as we deal with the new moon is tonight, or if tonight is a little bit too intense, then tomorrow, make a list of 3 things you are willing to do. Not 3 things you want to bring in, but 3 things you are willing to do to help clean this wound. 3 things you are willing to do to clean the wound in our world, specifically the wound in the US, and 3 things you're willing to do to clean the wound in you. Most important, the wound in yourself, the wound in the US, the wound in the world. What are the 3 things? And not little things, and not so huge that they're overwhelming and you just say, oh, I can't do it and put it aside a day or two later. But 3 things. Who can you call? What can you contribute to? What besides love and good wishes and thoughts and prayers can you give to this situation? That's what I mean. Be the change you want to see. The next thing we're going to look at is January 14th. The planet Uranus, the planet of great irrevocable change, goes direct. So throughout all of this intensity, it's been going backwards. And when it goes backwards or retrograde, or it appears to go retrograde, um, what it's really doing is it's not working with all of its cylinders. When it goes direct, it goes with full force. So it's going to go direct on January 14th. And that is so January around the 12th or 13th, there is going to be a big pickup or increase in energy. Uranus rules many things. It rules the humanitarian, it rules divine insight, it rules the ability for people to come together to do great things for each other. It also rules the ability for people to come together to create great destruction. It, above all, rules great change, sometimes cataclysmic change. We are at a very tender place in this country and in the world, but especially in the US. We are at a very tender place. And we need to know that the forces are with us if we are with them. And Uranus going direct, that's the force. Pluto conjunct the sun, that's the force. Transformation and great change are, as Sherlock Holmes would say, are afoot. And we cannot deny it any longer. We have to be strong, we have to be honest, and we have to be proactive. Proactive in the positive, proactive in the light. So this is there will be an impulse to deny whatever truth is necessary to move forward. We're still, by the way, cleaning out the wound. Whatever truth is necessary to get that wound cleaned out, wherever we are complicit within ourselves, in our little sheltered belief system, or whether we and where we are complicit as we move out into the world, still using the, oh, that has nothing to do with me, or that's not so bad belief system. And that's not only on a personal inner level, that's on a global level. We have to be very, very clear because Uranus rules, as I said before, many things. It ultimately rules freedom and it rules truth. And freedom and truth are important. Well, truth is something that Pluto, the transformational planet, rules too. So, truth, direct positive energy and action, clearing and healing the wounds, all of these are important, and all of these are speaking loudly. In a way, the universe has a huge megaphone and light on us, and we are getting to hear what we need to hear, and we're getting to see who we really are and what we're really committed to. And some of it is glorious, but right now, some of it is pretty miserable. January 15th, we have the sun, our life force, the power force in the universe, coming together with Pluto. Again, have I said Pluto 3 times? Yes, at least 3 times. 3 different dates I've mentioned that Pluto would be important. Well, this is the time of Pluto, and this is the time of the great change. This is the time of the necessary healing manifestation of transformation. There's no denying it. Wherever you go, there's no denying it. So, this is a time for you to understand the sun rules the heart. It also rules the spine. When people say you have no backbone, they're talking about that part of the lower back that the sun rules. And that part is you have to have, this is a time for backbone. This is a time to stand up, to have courage, to move forward. The sun shining light on the intensity and the need for change and healing of Pluto. It's big stuff right now. So this is beginning to, this whole week that I'm talking about, it's a great build up to the 20th of January. This is definitely something you'll read about in the history books. And January 18th, we have another major occurrence, and that's the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's the planet of luck and of blessings. It's the planet of your conscious connection to the divine. And it's the planet of the other, the planet of meeting the other. Therefore, it rules foreign people, foreign situations. It rules things and people that are different than you. And foreign doesn't necessarily mean you have to use your passport to experience it. No, foreign can be somebody on the other side of town or a neighbor that you've seen and you've never really bridged the gap to communicate with. Foreign is that is different from you. So Jupiter rules that. It's going to come into a square. A square is an aspect of tension. It's an aspect of friction. And it's going to come into a square with our old friend Uranus. Now an old friend because, boy, this intense change that Uranus rules is still with us and it's showing many different aspects. So Uranus square the planet of expansion, Jupiter, there is a need, and Jupiter is a divine planet. Jupiter is connected to the front office, to divinity. The need, this Jupiter square Uranus is going to show not only the need, but the spiritual mandate to clean things up. This is Jupiter. You can have great blessings and great luck and wonderfulness. However, there are things you need to do because great energy is the key with both Jupiter and Uranus. The Jupiter energy is saying either embrace the other, saying to Uranus, embrace the other, or I will expand your negativity and we will wind up seeing the great mess that can occur if we don't embrace the other. You have to embrace the other within yourself. There is that person within yourself. You must embrace the other out in your world. Without doing that, we won't have a world. So this Jupiter square Uranus, it's definitely an expansion of the big change, the big shift that is not only required at this time, but that is going on at this time. It is a time when there is friction between the old and the new. And this aspect doesn't just go away on the following day. Well, it's the 19th, there's nothing we have to worry about. No, this is the theme that we're in. It's actually the theme of the month, and it's the theme of the year. And it was very much the theme of last year, only more low key. But now it's not low key. Now it's out, it's wearing red, you can see it. Um, Jupiter square Uranus, old beliefs and old dogmas will get a really sharp, clear reality check. You will see, and what you saw when you saw the uh, sedition of the insurrection at the Capitol last week, what you saw was old beliefs and old dogma run rampant. What you saw was what's really been going on in our world, in our country, for the last several hundred years, and definitely in many ways in our world. What you saw was a refusal to be in the light. What you saw was a refusal to be anything other than blind and stubborn and stupid. That's what you saw. And for the people who say, oh, that's not us, that is us, unfortunately. When you look at history, that is us, what you saw. We have a chance now, with Uranus and Pluto so dominant and so prominent, we have a chance to change who we are so that we can say that is no longer us. Because that we saw at the Capitol is unfortunately us. It's our foundation. Now then, what are we going to do to clean out that messy, pussy foundation and to heal it and then to lay a new foundation? That's what this time is about. So use this time between the new moon and the 18th to really not just soul search, but to start taking deliberate, conscious, responsible, beneficial, in the light action. And if I sound intense, it's because this is an intense issue. This is our world. This is our life. This is what we are here for. We are all here at this time for this reason. So, us being here at this time, at this point, is no accident. We are indeed the people we've been waiting for. Now, let's take action. I'm going to end here because all of this is a lead up to the January 20th when the sun goes into the sign of Aquarius, which is friendship and humanitarianism. It is like minded people really caring enough about themselves and even more caring enough about each other and the world at large to step back from the ego-driven um, energies of your own mind, actually, and your little mind, and to say what's the best thing for all of us. How can we all come together and shine? How can we all come together and feel safe? And how can we all make what we want work? So, on that note, I will say goodbye. I will see you in a few days to give you the third part of this forecast. So, a lot more than prayers and thoughts. How about some prayers and some ideas and some action? Lots of joy to you.